Good afternoon. I am Selvaranie Naicker, and I didn't intend being an author. My book is born out of the COVID time. I've traveled over 14 years, and Bakthibhava has taken me 4 years to complete. So it's been a real labor of love. My love for traveling and my search for something deeper has led me to visit India 9 times. And from India, I journeyed into Nepal and Tibet. In those lonely days during COVID, I pulled out my treasure box of diaries. I diarized every journey I am on, whether it's in the East or in the West. And I said, these diaries are so untidily written, scribbled actually. Let me enter them onto my new MacBook Pro, which was gifted to me by my daughter. And halfway through it, I said, wow, what am I doing? I'm writing a book. And I felt like I was an instrument being used to convey these beautiful narratives beyond miracles, beyond coincidences. It's just wow moments that inspired me to put these together. And I said it would be so wonderful to share these raw experiences, and in some places I admit that words were insufficient to describe the full extent of the journey or the experience. And Bakthibhava is not available at any store because it was conceived over 14 years. And it was a labor of love over 4 years to make every word fit perfectly into a sentence. I personally hand my book over to somebody who shows an interest in my topic and who would like to share my journey. So it's like me handing my baby over to you. I need to know who's adopting my child. So I don't want it to be on a bookshelf. I want my book to go with love and warmth to the person who's going to buy it.
Hi guys, my name is Naushad Kahn. I'm the director of Mutli-Marketing, and Mutli-Marketing is a publishing, distribution and marketing company. We basically assist authors with publishing, marketing and distributing their books, not just locally in South Africa, but also internationally in other countries as well. Now, a little backstory about me, Naushad Kahn. I've been reading and writing from the age of 5 years old. So at the age of 5, I was already in the library borrowing up to 24 books at a time. So 3 library cards, mine, mom's and dad's, 8 books, 24 books at a time. 2 weeks to read them, but 1 week only. I would borrow the books and then send them back. And so reading so much basically got me into writing. And I wrote a book when I was 5 years old about talking dinosaurs. So 5-year-old mind, what can you say? Then at the age of 10, I remember writing a Western novel. And then at the age of 17, I wrote my book, which was called Race Champ. At the age of 17, I wrote it, and then it took me 8 years to get it published. So working 2 jobs aside, part-time job, side hustle, plus selling cake cookies on the side, I saved up money and I published my book. And through publishing that book, other authors who also experienced the same issues came to me and said, hey, can you help me get published? So I assisted my authors, and that's how I set up Mutli-Marketing, to assist other authors, guide them, be a shepherd for the holder of the pen, basically, guiding authors into getting published, marketing their books, and then distributing it to bookstores and internationally as well on online platforms such as Amazon, online stores, and even at events such as the Durban International Book Fair and other book fairs around the world. So that is basically what Mutli-Marketing is, and that is my story. So Naushad Kahn, Director of Mutli-Marketing. If you're looking for Mutli-Marketing, you can find us mmstore.co.za or email us at info@mutlimarketing.co.za, or if you prefer WhatsApp, 079 715 5645. Thank you.
My name is Mandla Skhosana. I'm the author of Political Party and Government Leadership and Succession Globally, which is now in volume 3. The book covers the question of the handover of power in the political sphere, in political parties and government. We all know that some leaders don't know when to step down. They want to stay on forever, and there are no systems in place to actually deal with that. And that disadvantages citizens, you and I, who are actually the bosses of politicians. Now, the book looks at this in the lens of primarily 7 countries: United Kingdom, United States of America, Brazil, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. And what emerges in the book is that we share a lot of things in common, despite what Afro-pessimists and Islamophobes tell us. So the book is about the importance of succession being properly handled for good governance.
And where can people find your book?
The book can be found in paperback format, volume 1 and volume 2, through Take a Lot. Can be ordered, the physical copy, and ebooks can be found in various digital platforms, Amazon, etc., etc. And there is a QR code which will direct you where else you can find it.
Alright, so hi guys, my name is Lorenzo Abrams. I'm a personal trainer as well as a rugby manager for UK Vidin, and I do sell supplementation, etc. I'm a very athletic type of person, but I think over the years my biggest passion was writing. So I've been featured in the book The Healing Ink as one of the authors, or should I say poets, and I'm part of Mutli-Marketing. And yeah, I'll be in the next anthology as well, so you guys can catch me in the anthology for 2026.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about where the love for writing started for you.
Okay, so with me, basically, what had happened was I started writing from the time I was a little boy. Honestly speaking, I was like 11 or 12 years old. But then I put the pen away for a couple of years because I felt like, growing up in like certain communities, writing looks silly, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I tried to fit in with everybody else. Because fitting in seemed to be the trend, And then what had happened was I realized following all those trends were like negative. Some of them, not all trends are negative, but some of them were negative for me. And it costed me a lot in life. So I said, okay, I picked myself up again and I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing me. I'm going to start being the most original version of myself and the best version of myself. So the best version of myself was sports, personal training, but the even better version of myself was writing. And look, by writing, I managed to achieve all of this at the age of 34. So I'm going to keep on being the most original version of myself. And I've been trying to teach my son the same thing. Be the best version of yourself and don't worry what other people say or think about you. You just need to be yourself, because by being yourself, it gives you an identity and it makes you stand out. So yeah, that's where I am at.
That's amazing. So, you mentioned growing up, writing was maybe seen as not so cool, maybe not as strong. There's a lot of connotation with being a writer, I think, especially.
Sure, yes.
Did you face anything with that coming from sport being so big in your life, where there's a lot of hyper-masculinity in
Yes.
and then the opposite of that is you enjoying something like writing? Did you maybe have anything that you had to face between those two things competing in their life?
Yes, I did actually, because I never told many people that I wrote. I did it once as an oral. I said something that I wrote and everybody liked it. But then, you would get other guys on the field that would tease you and stuff like that. Especially I played rugby. So, yeah, guys would like, hey, what you writing for? I mean, that's not very masculine, for most guys out there. But to my surprise, I found out that other people have other hobbies that they do that one would say, hey, it's not very masculine, but it's not even the case. I just say be yourself. And now I'm at the age whereby I'm embracing this. And yeah, I'm just going full force in it. That's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you've got a son that you're also trying to impart
Yes.
this knowledge to.
Yes.
Do you have any kind of message for young boys or men out there who have a passion for writing? It's something they're wanting to do, but they maybe are at that stage in life where they also feel a little bit silly about it, or maybe they feel just nerves around actually expressing themselves.
I just say, like I've said the first time, you know what? It's not only about writing. Whatever you are passionate about, irrespective of whether it could be writing, singing, dancing, I don't care what it is. Honestly speaking, be yourself. The more you try and follow what people do, that's where you're going to fail. You need to be yourself. I mean, be the most original version of yourself and the best version of yourself, irrespective. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you spoke about poetry.
Yes,
I think poetry is a very, it's such an amazing medium because not only are you being expressive in writing, it actually takes a lot of intelligence. It takes a very good vocabulary to be able to say what you're trying to say, but also have some kind of rhyme and rhythm in what you're doing.
Yes.
Was that something that you naturally felt you just had growing up, or was it something that you had to teach yourself?
So basically, I found out that I could make like a lot of words rhyme. I used to just do it for fun. And then I started writing it down. Like I used to listen to a lot of rap music and stuff like that. And yeah, I just started writing it down as well. And then as I got a bit older, I started like using bigger words, like play of words and stuff like that. And then, yeah, and as I said, I put the pen down again. And then one of the days, something just hit me at the age of 34. And it was like, hey, you know what? I need to start writing. So I wrote it down, and it was like a competition to get onto the Healing Ink. And I just took a chance and I said, okay, let me just submit it and see what happens. And then now look where we are.
That's amazing. So, I mean, some people might argue with me, but I would say that poetry and rap are things that are very much identical in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And take the same kind of skills.
Yes.
Do you feel as a guy, especially like you spoke about being in sport with that hyper masculine?
Yes.
Do you feel like it's maybe easier to accept a guy becoming a rapper as opposed to a poet, even though they're sort of in the same wheelhouse?
I think, well, it would be easier. I know that for a fact. But at the same time, I just feel, just be yourself.
Yeah.
So if you feel poetry is the way to go, don't let anybody judge you. I've found out one thing about life. When people judge you about certain things that you do, just understand it's probably jealousy because they can't do what you do.
Yeah.
So when you do it, it's like, hey, they're gonna have something to say about it.
Yeah.
So I would say, just go ahead, be yourself, be natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the fact that you, as a male who is enjoying all of who you are, so authentically, how do you feel about the fact that you would be a role model to younger boys who maybe have similar interests or similar hobbies or have things where they felt how you felt when you were younger in what you're doing? Do you see yourself, one, as somebody who is a role model for them, and two, how does that make you feel? I mean, it's something that sort of comes with the territory. It's like a choice.
Look, I do feel that maybe I am some sort of role model. I'm not saying that the intention was to be a role model, but hey, you know what? If I'm given the chance to do so, then I'm obviously going to do so. And I would advise younger boys, whatever you want to do, as long as it's the best version of yourself and most positive version of yourself, go ahead and be so. That's it.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the poetry, you've actually got something that you're going to read.
Yes, I do.
Before we jump into that, I do want to just ask you one more question.
Yes.
I think writing anything or creating anything as a creative requires a lot of inspiration, as it says us to draw on what's around us in order to create something. What have you found to be very good sources of inspiration for you and your poetry?
Okay, basically, I've taken all my life experiences, whether they were good or bad. I thank God for the good and the bad, because without the bad experiences and without those good experiences, I wouldn't be able to write. So sometimes you got to embrace the challenges that you have in life. Embrace them. I mean, I know they're tough, but you know what? Those too shall pass. So everything passes eventually. So you are given, you're given these problems and these bad circumstances, but I would say embrace them and take on the challenge. Don't give up in life. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, please go
Okay.
ahead and
All right. So the poem is called Searching. So it starts like this. I've looked for love, but it was never found. I've looked for love that was never around. I've looked for love in many places. I've looked for love in different faces. I've looked for love to make me whole. The hole in my heart has damaged my soul. I've looked for love. At times I felt there was no use. I've looked for love in bars, clubs, and substance abuse. I've looked for love and love only. I've looked for love whenever I felt lonely. I've looked for love in family and friends. The occasional smile, but deep down I pretend. I gave up looking when I saw nothing there. An empty soul, silent and didn't care. At that moment I found this love, and now I clearly see. I found this love I've searched for by finally learning to love me.
Perfect. That was so beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
No, thanks. Thank you for the opportunity.
Cool.
Thank you.
Just before we say goodbye to you, could you maybe let us know where we can find the book as well as your social media to follow what you do?
Okay, so you can follow me on Lorenzo Abrams on Facebook, as well as Instagram as well. The book is called The Healing Ink. You could find it, you can find it on the internet as well. And then if you want to find out more about me, I would say look into Mutli-Marketing. Mutli-Marketing, I'll be in the next anthology, and you guys will hear a lot about me.
Hi there, who are you?
Hi, I'm Eurupa Naidoo, author of The Size, Spirit of Humanity, and Lyfing.
Perfect. And what is Lyfing and Spirit of Humanity about?
Spirit of Humanity is an autobiography about a young girl who grew up in Chatsworth, moved to Port Gibson, worked in the rural communities, especially in the Bine Store communities in the 1990s. It's basically my autobiography, but the theme is touching lives. I touch people's lives and people touch my life. So that's Spirit of Humanity for you. And good Spirit of Humanity, it's called the size Spirit of Humanity. And the size in a bracket. The size in a bracket because it's saying, no matter what my religion, my nationality, my ethnicity, that should remain in a box. Sai, South African Indian, that remains in a box. My Spirit of Humanity must always remain. And then with Lyfing. Lyfing is a collection of short stories, poems, and letters. Started writing this book after the death of my husband. One of the chapters is called The Untimely Demise of My Husband. So when I was writing this, and after I wrote the book, short story, I wrote a poem, and then hurt myself into sugar, so into the shoes others. Being an empath, I actually started writing stories about what transpires in daily lives that we hush away. Our skeletons in the closets that we hide away. We are so quick to point fingers at everyone and say, you do this, and this, and yet when I point fingers at you, I point one finger at you and 5 fingers point back at me. So, this book is a little eye-opener. It's things that we forget about in life, and we forget about every day. But what I am saying is, please reflect. Reflect on your past, make amends, let go, and move on. And one thing that is very important is a Ho'oponopono prayer. And you use Ho'oponopono prayer. That's so good. When it says, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, and I love you. The other thing also that I would like to say with my book is that I use an analogy of one of my stories, and I say in depth, we have 6 Paul waters that actually carry us, and they carry us so diligently, calmly, with such dignity. Not willy-nilly they're going to drop us or make us fall. If in life we had 6 people that could support us, how much more better would our life be? So grab a copy of my book. I am on TikTok. I am on Facebook. You catch me at Eurupa Naidoo at Facebook. I'm also on the site Spirit of Humanity. This book is a read, if you want to try and break those chains and live life differently. We're carrying these burdens. Come on, guys. Let's get rid of them. Reflect. Get rid of them. Move on. That's life. Remember, you got this. In the story of your life, you are the author. Embrace you. Here's one more thing that I want to say is, I'm keratochronic. I need 1-year transplants in both my eyes. I've written both my books on WhatsApp.
Wow.
Both my books on WhatsApp. and my family helped me to put them together on Bombay and send them to the editor. Though, you know what? I'm proof you can do it. You can.